Y bueno, tal y como lo dijo Jamie Raskin, una estupidez total. Pero lo mejor es que él no se quedó callado, les dio una pequeña cátedra brutal a los republicanos, dejándolos en ridículo. Y bueno, vamos a ver qué es lo que dijo.
The purpose of the gentleman's bill is not to give Congress the power to undo midnight rules, because Congress already has that power. Under the Congressional Review Act, House Republicans can go to the floor this week and they can try to undo every single regulation that was issued by the Biden administration from August of last year to Inauguration Day. So what does their bill do? Well, it would allow the majority to roll up lots of midnight regulations and lots of others too, including what you might call twilight, midday, and early morning regulations. Indeed, all of the regulations adopted in the final 365 days of the prior administration, an entire year that takes place at midnight. All the regulations adopted in the last year could be tied together into a bundle, wrapped up together in a giant bunch, and then voted down as a single jumbo resolution. This tactic could be used to try to get Congress to eliminate no fewer, by my count, than 355 major regulations from the last year of Joe Biden in one fell swoop, forcing every member to vote either to sustain all of the regulations or to overturn and destroy all of them. And by destroying them, that means the agencies could not try to promulgate similar regulations in the future without an act of Congress. This would allow Trump's enablers and the sheep-like new Elon Muskovites in Congress to obliterate hundreds of completely diverse and unrelated regulations in one fell swoop. Everything from, these are regulations that were adopted over the last year, everything from removing lead from drinking water to making cell phones compatible with hearing aids, to creating safety standards for infant bath seats, to implementing the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Mr. Speaker, the reason that 43 states have constitutional or statutory single-subject rules for policy legislation, initiatives, and referendum is because voting on completely different subjects
palabras porque de la derecha a la izquierda, uno de los demócratas, estamos poniendo a Elon Musk.
at the same time is a moronic way to govern and an invitation to political manipulation of the will of the people. What's a member to do if he or she strongly approves of, say, overturning 20% of these rules, but strongly opposes overturning 80% of them? This weird dilemma makes us ask why we would even want to force such a choice. After all, the vast majority of America rejects this whole concept. Well, the obvious purpose of this bizarre legislation is to get Republicans to vote to repeal extremely popular common sense regulations, but then try to enable them to escape the political consequences of doing so. Look, consider some of the Biden administration regulations which they would tuck into this monstrosity omnibus midnight relief resolution, and decide if you're willing to vote to overturn them, even if they're tucked in with some infamous washing machine regulation they love talking about. Consider this one from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It cuts credit card late fees from an average of $32 to $8, meaning your credit card company cannot charge you more than $8 for late fees because the CFPB brought a suit and determined that's the whole administrative cost of a late fee. It didn't say the credit card companies couldn't charge anything, But it said when they're charging you $32, that's just a ripoff. Now, our friends on that side of the aisle want to repeal this regulation because they insist it violates their precious laissez-faire principle. That is, let the credit card companies do whatever they want. But when it comes to leaving middle class and working class consumers to the mercy of gigantic credit card companies, my friends, laissez isn't fair. At least that's what the Democrats think, and we will stand up for this regulation. But if you think the credit card companies should be restored their power to charge whatever they want for late fees, way beyond their actual administrative expenses, then by all means support the Republicans' bill. Elon Musk and the billionaires will love you for it. Musk did, after all, just sign an agreement with Visa for his X wallet.